If you've been wondering what the best webinar software is to run your live or automated webinars, don't worry, I got you. In fact, after testing more than 30 different webinar software, I finally found the one that I fell in love with. Now, if you don't know anything about me, I run about 200 webinars a year, and I've been doing that for the past 5 years. So I live and breathe the world of webinars. I have a webinar agency, and the problem sometimes that whenever you find a webinar software, they are great in some features, but not great in others. And I was wanted to find something that finally was able to get the full customer journey right, that could do my live webinars, that could was an all-in-one solution, that could send emails, that could track sales, do affiliates, you name it. And finally, I found it. So let's get started, because this is what I'm going to show you here in this video. I'm going to give you first an overview, and then finally I'm going to go deeper into details, and also let you know how you can get a webinar software, my affiliate link, and so on. So this is what you can expect from the next few minutes. Now, as I mentioned, I run more than 200 webinars a year. So what I wanted to do is to find something that was an all-in-one solution, so that could help me actually see the full customer journey, that was easy to use in particular, because we work with a lot of clients that they're not really techy. So and also you don't want to spend weeks to figure out how software works. I wanted to find something that could show me the full customer journey from the moment they register to want to attend, how much they attend, and how they click. And it was all built in one single place. I want to do something that could do live webinars. We do a lot of live webinars, and we teach clients how to do live webinars. So we needed to have a strong live component, and make sure I could send the email sequences after registration to get people to show up, and also after the webinar, where we can send replays and sales sequences, and done it in a way that you can set them up once and then forget it, even if you're running multiple times the same webinar. So it's a one-time setup. I wanted something with strong analytics, and a lot of webinar software, they give you analytics in ugly Excel sheets, which I'm not a big fan of, or you need to download multiple reports and try to piece things together. They don't have a really nice interface. And finally, I wanted to find something that could turn my live webinars in a great way in evergreen and on-demand webinars. So whether you run a live one and then you can do something that people can access anytime, or they need to register to watch a pre-recorded registration. That's what an on-demand webinar is. And I wanted to do it in a way where in one click of a button, I could turn the exact same live webinar into evergreen and on-demand. And finally, I found it, and the name is Webinar Geek. So if you're one of these people like me, you can go straight away, click the link below this video, where it is my affiliate link. If you register, you can get a 14-day free trial, and on top of that, if you decide to go for one of the pro plans and pay in full, I've negotiated with them an extra 10% discount on the full amount, on the yearly subscription. And I never until this point, for the past 5 years of running webinars, I've never affiliated myself to a platform, recommended a specific platform, because I couldn't find one that I could my face behind it. And finally I found it. So highly recommended. Give it a test run. It's a 14-day free trial. You decide to upgrade, you get an extra 10% discount because you've joined with my affiliate link. I've negotiated a special deal with them because I love this software so much. So now that you have the overview, let's go through the breakdown of all the different parts, for those of you that want to stay on and watch all the details and actually see how this works and see all the behind the scene of some of the webinars as well that I've run, and how it looks and how it works. So as I mentioned, I was looking for an all-in-one solution, something that could do basically like everything that I've ever wanted. And let me go here. So this is what Webinar Geeks look like. You can see your webinars here. You can see the videos of all the recordings that you have. You can have your own webinar channel. I'm going to explain later. and then the statistics. I'm going to go from a webinar that I've already created, which one is called Convert with Webinars. And as you can see, when you create your own webinar, you can decide immediately if you want something live or automated. You can decide it straight away. You put your title, you put how you want to call it, the description, how long it should be. You can put it here. And then this is the cool thing. This is the cool thing. This is the one that one of the features that I absolutely love the most. You can see here in dates and times, and you can see the dates and times. All I got to do to trigger the full webinar funnel once again, even after I've done it, let's say this is a past webinar, all I have to do once I've set it up, I can just do add an extra broadcast, add it, and then automatically the entire registration page is updated. The email sequences are updated just by adding the extra date. It is insane. And then I can see, okay, the registration page. Now the registration page, they look pretty good. They look pretty good. Like, look at this. This is a registration page that I have created, just like without any coding, without any without anything else. And you can see how it looks. I can put different fields: first name, surname, email address, phone number. I can add different fields. You can see now the date here updates automatically. Every time you add a new date, these fields update automatically, so you don't need to recreate a new registration page or update anything. You can get a free registration, you can have what's included, who is presented by, and immediately all your share buttons. So that's already how the normal registration page looks like. So if you're not fancy and you don't want to overcomplicate things, you can use the entire software, or if you decide to have your own page, you can embed the registration field. Another feature that I love, as I mentioned, I wanted to have an all-in-one solution. One of my biggest headaches was to find, to have tracking to send to affiliates. We have a lot of affiliates that promote our webinars for us. So if you want other people to promote your webinars for you, guess what? All you got to do, you can see all these as my affiliate links of other people that are promoting my webinar. All I do is to click here, add custom link, test. Just gonna put it test 1, 2, 3 because I probably have a few tests. Generate, boom. And then you send this link to the person that you want them to to promote the webinar for you. So even tracking everything is insanely easy. As I mentioned, I can update the registration field. The confirmation page is already there, which automatically updates with all the different fields. In fact, if I go here, you can see that I can just say, hey, first name, welcome. If you want to resend the email, it resends the email. It tells the title of the webinar. And because it's done with these fields, and this is automatically pre-populated like this, then when someone registers, you can see that it shows their name. It shows the time, the date, and the time. That's why, because there are those fields, just when you add an extra date, if you create one funnel, it will automatically work for the next one. You want to embed your registration link, for example, into another page because you want to have your own landing page, for example. You can do that too. You can take payments on your webinar. You can get paid webinars. And also you can integrate with multiple different softwares. And in particular, if you're using Zapier, which is a platform that gets two different platforms that will not normally communicate, you can connect your Webinar Geek account to anything that you want. All right. Then you can set up your live webinar. You can decide how it looks from the countdown page. You can decide to update and customize your countdown page. You can already, if you want, upload already as a PDF file your presentation. You can already pre-schedule video injections if you want to inject some videos. You can already set how the chat is going to look like, the Q&A page, the sales page, the evaluation. So you can see now when you're setting up your webinar, is all in one. It's only one. Your interactions. You want people to click on your offer. You can set up an offer straight away here. This is another feature that I absolutely love. I use a lot of webinars to sell. You might use webinars to sell. So what I want to do here, on top of pre-scheduling polls, you can pre-schedule an offer. This is, for example, our webinar conversion accelerator program. We do a special offer after this webinar. So I pre-schedule it. It's very quick. I just type here the name of what the offer is. I upload an image there and I put the link. That's it. And now I have an offer which is pre-scheduled, which just imagine now. Just imagine this. You're running your webinar. Now you're running your webinar and you're talking and making your offer, and then you click a button and then a pop-up appears with someone that just has to click that pop-up to then buy and purchase the product. So it's a great customer experience, and also it makes it more interactive. You want polls that are going to pop up. They will pop up also the polls that you're going to use. But in particular on an offer level, it makes such a big difference. And this is the kick. This is the kick. Listen up. If someone is watching the recording or is watching, or you're turning your live webinar into automated or evergreen, what's going to happen is that now in the replay, the moment you make the offer and the pop-up appears on the live session, it will be replicated exactly like that on the replay. So imagine someone is watching the replay, and now when you make the offer, boom, link comes up, little window, where then they can click and make the purchase, which is tracked. I'm going to talk later about analytics because it's one of the biggest part that I love about this software. As you can see, I'm a webinar geek myself, so they couldn't pick a better name for the software. Now I'm going to do another one, which is the emails. As you can see, you can pre-schedule all the emails. Like this is my sales funnel, for example, after every single webinar I do. Mine is a bit long because this is what I do for a living. But even just setting up, you want to send an email for after registration. You send an email reminder. You can set how many days before: 3 days before, 2 days before, 1 day before, 6 hours before, 2 hours before, 15 minutes before, to get people to show up when it happens. And then you can then send a replay and already pre-schedule everything to people that didn't attend, to people that attended, and then send all your follow-up sequences and email. Oh my God, this is all in one. And all you gotta do, once you do, I want to add an email. I want to add, for example, like a follow-up email. And I can just copy an existing template. So I select a webinar here. I want this one. I select the email. And so now, once you have one template that is created, rescheduling, creating another email that looks exactly the same is literally a click of a button. Oh my God, love it so much, love it so much. And then finally, you publish everything. So this is how it looks. It's pretty insane, and is incredibly insane and incredibly awesome. But now let's go back to the other feed, because I want to go and dive deeper into the different features now that I gave you this overview. As you can see, and this is one of the things that I love the most about this software, it is easy to use. It's incredibly easy to use. The learning curve is very short. The tutorials are great. They have an incredible customer support, which is, for me, really important. I have questions, someone is there to answer straight away. And also they have an AI bot that if you ask questions, it will give you answers immediately. Most of the time, actually, they are right. They're great answers. So I have to limit even my interaction with the customer support or way that they are online because I have a question. And this is one of the biggest frustrations, by the way, in terms of softwares in general. Um, every software requires a learning curve. This one is very minimal because the tutorial and the way they've set it up, they really thought about the customer experience from start to finish. And that's what made me fall in love. Like, there wasn't at any point since I started setting it up that I felt a level of frustration, but it was just joy. and, and I'm a bit of a software geek, so I just when I found it, was just like, oh my God, why didn't I know about this before? So very easy to use, very easy to use. As you can see the full customer journey. You can see the full customer journey. I'm going to show you in a moment when we are talking about the analytics, how the customer journey works. And then you have great flexibility on your live webinars. In fact, let me show you something when you are creating now a live webinar. Let me show you something about live webinars. So when you want to create a webinar, you can see here that you have, let me go at the front page. I want to create a new webinar. Just click here on the side, new webinar. Let me just move bit here so you can see better. Boom. All right, you can see here new webinar. I'm just going here, new webinar, a bit like under my face. Let me just, yeah, behind my face, new webinar. When you create your new webinar, you get different options. You want live, automated, or on demand. So I'm going to make it live. And you can see, do I want to run a broadcast or an interactive session? Bounce! Bounce! So you want to run like Zoom-like sessions where you have people coming on the screen? You can do that too. So broadcast, or I want to run an interactive session. You type your title, type your description, what language is going to be, how long is going to be average, and then you can decide if it's going to be public, unlisted, or private. You put the dates and time if you want an exact date. If you want a recurring schedule, you can select, for example, a schedule of webinars where people have to register once and then they receive the reminders to attend all the different sessions. And maybe you're running challenges. Maybe you're running a series, maybe you're running an online training. You're running a series of courses. You don't want people to register in every single platform every single time. You get them to register only once and they are registered for all the recurring schedule. Then you can decide how immediately you want your replay to work. If you want the chat, if you want actually to offer the replay at all or not, if you want to accept questions, if you have a question, which emails it gets sent to. So that gets sent to my email. If you want to create a webinar series, and then you can immediately, like this right now, the simplest version, you can automatically create and publish. So if you want the basic version, automatically you have a landing page. Let's look at the simplest way of doing it. Actually, let me go here. You have test 1, test 2, which is description, estimate duration, 30 minutes. I want that to be public. The date is on the 20th of October. That's fine. We're doing this. I want to make sure offer the replay for 5 days. I want to offer the chat in the replay. I want to show a Q&A. I want the link. Not webinar series, and create and publish. Boom. Done. This is your webinar. This is how the landing page without any change it looks like. But then you see you have already here test 1. You put the name, email address, and so on. And then of course you will need to edit the landing page a bit. But this is already what it creates. And you already have emails that are pre-populated just from here. So this is what I love about this particular software, this particular platform. If we are going back to the way it creates live webinars, it creates them in a very, very simple way. And also, they're very stable, very, very stable. The quality is crisp. I have not seen another webinar platform that does quality, like live stream quality like this, other than Zoom. I used to use Zoom before. The problem with Zoom is that I had to create so many integration because it was not all in one. Like I had to have my webinar on Zoom, then to integrate it with my email sequences on another platform, and then follow up with people on another platform, the analytics. I had to download them and get a spreadsheet. I needed to recreate another live webinar. I had to duplicate the funnel, create another Zoom link, and so on. So it was very clunky, even if the platform is great and the quality is fantastic. Never let me down, but then it was hours of setup. Hours and hours and hours of setup. While now, once I've set it up once, 1 second, boom, add a date, done. Game changer. Game changer. Now let's move to the next part. You can see I get really excited. I get really excited about this particular software. Email sequences. Let's go back to email sequences. Let me go back to email sequences. You see, I should have showed you the email sequences before. That was part of this one, but hey, I get excited. So now I'm going here and I can create emails. So that's where I'm going to the emails. In the emails, you can set up different type of emails. Let me move my face out of the way. There you go, face out of the way. When you create emails, you can create different type of emails. You have a reminder email, which means it's an email that is sent before the webinar. You have a follow-up email, which is an email that is sent after the webinar, and the replay email, which is focused on replays. The difference with these emails is that, let me show you. In the reminder email, this one is a reminder email. When you schedule it, which you schedule it here, you can see that it says 3 days before each webinar starts. So when I schedule it, I decide how many days before the starting time of the webinar, then I can schedule the email. Why is it important? Because that means that I don't need to select an exact date. The moment I add another date, the entire email funnel, the entire email sequence is adjusted based on the date of the webinar that I set. And so, which is very different from a lot of other platforms. A lot of other platforms, you will need to set a particular day for each email, which means the moment you change the webinar, now you need to recheck every single email, recheck every single date. So this is the main difference. And then when you set an email, in every email, for example, at the bottom, it will give you the episode title, the broadcast time, the link to add to calendar, and also the link to view the webinar. Now, why is this important? Let's say that I want to change the title of this webinar. I don't like it anymore. Just because now it says here, the moment I change it here, it changes everywhere else. In fact, here I put title and time. So even in the email, once I use title, if I decide to change the title, which is actually happening for this particular webinar, it's going to go from convert with webinars to get clients with webinars. All I got to do is change the title. I change the title, updates every single email, updates every single follow-up sequence, updates every single also reminder email. And every single person has their own unique webinar link, which is going to be really important in a moment when we are talking about tracking, when we are talking about analytics. Then I'm going to send, as I mentioned, my replay email. Now, my replay email, really important, it gives you the option, looks exactly the same because I edit it in the same way. It gives you the option to send it to who? I want to send it to everyone, all the subscribers. Let me go a bit down because probably you can't see it. All right, there we go. Non-viewers, viewers, or all subscribers. I can decide. So let's say that you want to change the nature of the message to someone. You change the nature of the message to someone who didn't attend. Instead of saying, "Hey, thank you for attending," you say, "Hey, I'm sorry we missed you. Here's the link to the replay." Someone who attended, say, "Hey, thank you for attending. Here's the link with the replay, and here is the offer," because you know they already saw the offer. And it makes it to feel way more personal. Way more personal. And then again, you can decide in terms of when you want to schedule it, how many days in advance, how many hours after the webinar, or how many days after the webinar you want to send it. And then when the replay automatically processes, it sends it automatically. You don't need to do anything once it's set up. And then you have the follow-up emails. The follow-up emails, which are here, then you can send them, and I can decide again, who do I want to send them to? I want to send them to all subscribers, viewers, or non-viewers. So I want to send them to everyone. I want to send them to people that have viewed the webinar or people that have not viewed the webinar. And this is really interesting because it means that only people that maybe have seen the replay that can see some sales emails, and people that have not even watched the replay, they will not receive these emails. In this case, I've set it up to all subscribers, but I'm going to now evolve my funnel in a way that only people that have seen the email, they've seen the replay, they will receive a certain type of emails for the offer and so on. But in the simplest way, you can have everyone just to see the emails, right? If you want to make things a bit more personalized, you can say, I want to send a particular message to someone who saw the replay, who saw the live session, who didn't see it. And that's where customization and personalization comes into place. So as you can see, going back to emails, which is what I wanted to show you in this particular part, right? That's what I wanted to show you. The email sequence. The email sequence allows you, whether you are starting out and you just want to send 3 emails to everyone, and that's it, because that's all you can compute, and that's fine. Or you're a bit more advanced, and now the webinar funnel grows with you. But again, you can just add the things step by step. So that's why I love this software, because it works incredibly well for beginners as well as for advanced. So now let me move to the let's move to the next one. Let's move to the next one. Here we go. As I said, one of the other things that the reason why I love is analytics. So let's dive into the analytics, my friend. Let's dive into the analytics. Now, as you can see here, I have done my webinar called Convert with Webinars, and I've got another one starting in 8 days because I've got another date. I'm just adding new dates. All I can do here is statistics. All right, I go statistics. And as you can see, I have two different broadcast dates. I did one on the 9th of October, and I'm going to do one on the 22nd of October. So I'm going to go here and just choose from the menu 9th of October. Actually, let me move my big ad out of the way. Let's get it here again, right? So I'm going to choose here in the broadcast date. I want to choose the one just from the 9th of October. Because I can decide from your webinar to from my webinar to see all the statistics together and how they work together, or I can decide to just see them separately, webinar by webinar, which is, oh my god, I absolutely love it. Because when you're running webinar funnels, let me digress a bit on this. When you're running webinar funnels, every webinar might give you will give you often different results because it depends on how many people register and how many people actually attend, what's their mindset when they attend, how many qualified buyers there are on the webinar. So there are a lot of different factors that will determine how well or not a webinar is going to go. So my philosophy is never just one webinar that is going to make or break your business, unless you're doing like a huge launch. But if you're doing a webinar a month and you do 12 webinars a year, is the total of these webinars that will then impact your business. Because you might have a webinar that works incredibly well and another one that doesn't, but then because you're running 12 once a month, then it balances out. So having the analytics to see what's the total of that webinar, what's the total results I get from the webinar, is gold. Is absolutely gold for me, and it's something that I've not seen in any other webinar software. So, oh my days, that's a huge one. That's a huge one. So let's go in the analytics. I can see a few things immediately. I can see how well my registration page is converting. I can see that my registration page, I had 146 visitors on this page and 33 subscribers. So actually, I need to work a bit more on the message of that particular page. Or I need to work a bit more on the audience because I would love a bit better results. I would love to have at least 40%. It's not bad, can be better, right? Can be better. I had way better registration pages. I can see that now a view ratio 75% of people have viewed the webinar. So actually it's really good, and 35% have watched until the end. Now it tells me also what a webinar AI analysis. So it tells me based on my numbers and statistics what I can do better or what I could do next. Then I can just filter for registrations. So here, as we can see, it gives me the total amount of registration. For privacy, I'm going to add the emails, of course. But I can see that I can see where they're coming from, which ones are the places where they click the most. If they are new subscriber or recurring, how many new compared to how many are coming back, which device they use, or where they're coming from. If it is direct traffic, if it is an affiliate link, if it is a partner, if it is that's depending on the tracking link. So you can see which affiliates or tracking are performing the best. And then I can go into emails. In the emails, I can see for every single email which one has been sent to how many people have opened it, and also if it bounces. So I can see if I want to click here in one of these emails for the final reminder, I want to see, for example, or this one, or in a sales email, I want to see who has opened the email that didn't take action. This is gold information for me because if those people are opening consistently the emails, it means that they're interested, but for some reason they're not buying. For one reason or another, they're not buying. So reaching out personally and say, hey, how's it going? Is there any question I can answer for you about the webinar conversion accelerator? That's always gives me extra sales. Because if I see someone opening the emails consistently but not buying, means that they're interested, they're considering it. One reason or another, something is not clicking and they're not purchasing. So reaching out to someone goes a long way. And I can only do it because I can see all the analytics. And then I can see, for example, well, I didn't set up the payments. I can see here the viewers. Who are the people that viewed the webinar? For example, I know that we had 33 people registering. We had 17 live viewers and 25 viewers in total, and 11 replay viewers, right? So these are already gold information for me. And then I can filter. I'm not going to show you because I will have to show you the emails, but I can filter in the analytics for show me just the people that have watched the live session. Show me just the people that watched the replay. Show me the people that have watched the live and the replay as well, because some people will do that way. And I can see now we have a 75% webinar ratio, 82% interaction. So 82% of people actually clicked a button, asked a question, or clicked on the offer. I can see here there is like how much is the duration. So the duration was 1 hour and 43 minutes, but the average viewing time was 1 hour and 17 minutes, which is also, it means that actually the webinar works incredibly well because it gets a lot of people to watch. And how many people were present from the start, how many people have watched until the end, and then it can show you, okay, how many viewers are from custom registration link. So I know that, for example, the people that came from my email, they were the most likely to attend. People that were invited by WhatsApp, they were the second more likely to attend. Then I have someone on LinkedIn, this time has not worked really well in terms of attendance. I had one affiliate that actually got 2 people that attended, and so on. And then finally, I can go in to check the chat, Q&A, and interaction. So I'm not going to look in the chat because we'll need to see who they are. But then, which is the final thing which I love about the analytics, and that's how I love this interface because it's everything in one place, is this. I can see that I had, for example, under replay, so this is the call to action, this is the offer. I had 6 people on the live session that clicked on the offer. And I have 2 people on the replay that clicked on the offer. So now I can check, did everyone that clicked also purchase? Or if they didn't, I can follow up because they express a strong interest in buying because they clicked the purchase button. But for some reason they didn't buy, they didn't go ahead. So now I can reach out to them, or I can make them part of my follow-up campaigns. It tells me also the different polls and the different results, and I can see who has engaged with those polls. So that's every interaction. I can see that 60-80% of the viewers have responded. This is huge. It's really good. Great engagement. It means that my presentation works really well. And actually, it was high converting because, in fact, I think over 17 attendees, I think we had 6 sales. So really, really, really happy about this particular presentation, which means I can scale now. I can scale with this. I know that I've got great numbers, great offer, presentation works. I'm really happy with that. But what I need to work on is my registration page because the numbers can be improved there. So you can see how now you can use these analytics in order to make better decisions, in order to see like live in real time how well your presentation and your webinars is doing. And then webinar by webinar, now you can compare them. I can compare now the analytics that I have with this one with the same webinar that I'm doing, just with another dates. And that's why I'm in love with this. Did I say I'm in love with this software? Oh my God, yes I am. For all these reasons. Because before I wasn't never able to do it. I had to plug all different things together or assume what people were doing. And based on assumption, you can make the wrong decisions. But with data, based on your own intuition, and of course intuition is important, but with data and intuition, now you can make the best decision for your webinar. There is one more thing in analytics which I cannot show you though, but it's really important to mention, is that if you click on the name of a person that have registered, you can see their entire history. So I can click the name of one registration that I know they have attended. I can see which poll they responded, the results of their polls, if they click the offer or not, and I can see which emails they opened or didn't open, and all just by clicking on the name of one of the participants. So participant by participants, I can see their level of engagement, which again, from a sale point of view, really helps me to then tailor my follow-up and also invite them back to other different webinars that could be relevant for them and create this high level of personalization because I know what they've been doing and I know what they are interested in based on what they click or what they didn't click. And this is another thing that I love because no other webinar software will do that that I've seen. Click the name, it just gives you the entire history of everything that they have done, from the emails that they've opened, the one that they didn't open, the clicks that they did. Oh my god. I know. It's like, if you haven't created your free account, by the way, you got a free 14-day trial so far, just go ahead and do it right now. I should have said it even before in this video. Just go ahead and create your free account. And with my affiliate link, I get a 10% affiliate commission. So full transparency, I get a 10% affiliate commission, but also you get a 10% discount. And this is something that you will not have if you go directly to Webinar Geek. And the reason why we're doing this is because I want to create a very long-term partnerships with them. I love this software. We teach hundreds of people how to sell with webinars. So far, I've not been married to any software for this reason, but finally I can say there is something solid, never let me down, is strong, the team is amazing, customer service is fantastic. I had a conversation with the people as well in the company, and every interaction that I had was incredibly positive. And I don't take this for granted because, one day the software is there, the other day is not there anymore. So who makes the company makes a difference in this case. All right, let me go back so then we can wrap up this video. So if you haven't created your free account, just go in the link below and use my affiliate link to create your 14-day free trial. After the free trial or during the free trial, when you upgrade, you get an extra 10% discount if you upgrade to the pro level. If you upgrade to the pro level. Then finally, this is the final part, evergreen or on demand. This is another thing that I love incredibly well. So let's say that you're now running your live webinar, and your live webinar works really well. The next natural step is to make it evergreen or on demand, which means when someone clicks or register, they can watch it immediately, or they can register to watch a pre-recorded presentation. So let's say that I'm free on Tuesday at 5 p.m. I'm just going to register it for Tuesday at 5 p.m. because I might not be available now. So that's what evergreen or on demand means. On demand is I'm watching a pre-recorded presentation, but I'm registering for it instead of just watching it straight away as soon as I register, which is the evergreen. And the next step after you have a winning webinar is to automate it, right? Because then you can get a lot of people watching it without you delivering it consistently live. And you get sales on autopilot. That's how it works. Now, manage expectations. Live webinars, they often convert more because they are live. There is a sense of urgency than evergreen webinars. But also you gotta be there to present. So I love to do both. I want to get more sales. I'll do a live webinar because I know we'll convert more. But when I have a winner, I'm going to automate it because why not? People are going to watch it and the right people are going to buy. It's going to be a smaller percentage, but I'm still going to make sales. And that's why I love how you can just one click, you can turn a winning webinar into an evergreen or automated webinar. So let's see how this works. I'm now going to go back here, and so I'm now going into my where are we here? Okay, convert with webinars. There we go. So now I'm back on my front page, which is what you're going to be able to see. Let's say that I want to turn, and by the way, this is my evergreen webinar, right? This is the evergreen. The one that I've done on the 9th, I now made it evergreen. How did I do it? I did this. I went on convert with webinars. I clicked options. It said duplicate webinar. No, it's not this one. Pardon me. I have to Okay, just give me a second. I might pause because I need to remember how to use it. So give me a second and I'll get there. All right, people. I'm back. I'm back here. So this is how it works, which is super simple. I just had to go one extra step. So I can say here is my webinar called Convert with Webinars. So it's here. I click on it. And now I can choose which broadcast to do. So the one on the 9th of October is the one that I already did. All I gotta do is to do the one on the 9th. This one I already did. I got options. As you can see here, it gives me statistics, create as on-demand webinar, or create as automated webinar. That's it. You do it, and automatically will turn it in an automated webinar or on-demand webinars already with all the emails and sales sequences already scheduled. Let me show you without doing it here. Once you click there, basically this is now, and I've not touched it by the way, this is now the one on the 9th of October, which is my evergreen webinar. I can see I got 4 people already that have been subscribed. I got 9 emails that are scheduled, and I can see now when some on the red there is a confirmation, and then there is the sales sequences here, and this is already published from the last webinar that I did. Sales links are the same, but because now I've updated the title and I've updated the name, all the fields and everything, the date, the timing, everything is automatically done, and all I had to do was click that button. That's it, and it did it. So again, it is an incredible software. It is again the answer to all my it is the answer to all my webinar problems. It is the answer to all my webinar problems. And finally, I could find something that, as you can see here, is an all-in-one solution. It's easy to use, shows me the full customer journey, does live webinar, does email sequences, does the analytics, and also creates evergreen and on-demand webinars in one short click of a button. So again, if you have any question about Webinar Geek, contact the team. They are incredible, very supportive. As I mentioned, I had many interactions with them. So they're gold. They're absolutely gold. Join by my affiliate link. If you enjoyed this video, if that was useful for you, means that I'm earning something for this promotion, but also you get an extra 10% that you will not get otherwise. This is an exclusive deal that I've negotiated with them. You upgrade to the pro version, and you get after your 40-day trial, during your 40-day trial, as soon as you upgrade, you get an extra 10% off on your monthly subscription or yearly subscription that you will not have otherwise. And this is my thank you to you. And also, by joining, you will get another training that I'm doing, which is about creating your webinar presentation with AI. I'm going to give you free access to that training. All you need to do is to show me that you have purchased Webinar Geek. That with my affiliate link, you need to show me the proof of purchase, and then I'm going to send me an email with that. The instructions are here on the page, and then I will give you access to this free training called Create Your High Converting Webinar Presentation with AI, where basically using AI to create your full webinar presentation from start to finish with your call to action and sale and offer all in one place. Spend months to create that. I'm sure you will love it. All my more than 400 clients that we worked with loved it. So this is my gift. Then for you, you can buy it separately for an extra $100, but why don't you get your account in Webinar Geek and then get it included? So that's it for me. If you have any other question, you want to reach out, you want to learn how to create converting webinars, make sure you visit my website. The link is below as well. My email is there, so if you have any question about building your own webinar or agency services, because we have an agency where we build all done for you funnels, so we can take care from the creation of your webinar from start to finish. All you got to do is to show up and deliver. We write email campaigns, we set up the tech, we'll do all the work for you. So we have different training. We have some that are group training where we'll teach you in groups and you come up with your webinar presentation for the Webinar Conversion Accelerator, or we have our agency services where we can do it done for you. So any question that you have about these services, send me an email and make sure you create your Webinar Geek account straight away right now. Don't waste another second, and I cannot wait to see you next time. And always remember that together we grow exponentially. Ciao.